Maria, thank you so much for taking the time and joining me for this conversation.
I'm Maria. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Remotify. And what we do is we are an employer of record firm based out of the Philippines. And what we do is we help international businesses, mainly venture-backed startups and mid-market companies, to extend their runway by building remote teams in the Philippines. So we help international companies legally hire Filipino talents without having to set up their own entity here. But beyond the legal and payroll mechanisms, we see ourselves really as an extension of our clients' teams, supporting them not just with labor compliance, but also culture, employee care, and performance. At our core, we're really about democratizing access to secure full time remote employment for Filipinos and later on every emerging market.
There are many outsourcing solutions out there, especially in the Philippines. What makes Remotify different? I know a few things already, of course, because we know each other. One of them is that you really pay the employee benefits. So
Correct.
you play a game on that, if I may say. Team building, like really handle people you hire for your clients as they were your own team. That you also treat employees you hire like really, really like well. The well-being is important to you, and you also
Correct.
support development. But please tell me if I missed anything important.
Yeah, sure. That's very true. Thanks for sharing that, no, to your network. And a lot of the companies that we compete with offer bodies and seats, right? And we don't. As you mentioned, right? We offer a workforce that you can actually retain, a workforce that will be an extension of your team operationally day in, day out. They will work with you just without all the HR hassle, and we'll take care of that. We're different because we don't just hire people, we make sure that we've curated a remote first culture that makes them feel like they belong, because in the future of work where it is remote, culture is still everything, right? And we've proven that time and again, because everybody right now is just paying the belonging tax, paid for the conveniences gained through remote work. But at the same time, it shouldn't be to the at the cost of not having employment rights or having the full benefits that you get, the freedom and flexibility to remote work, right? So we pay full government mandated benefits, we invest in community building, and we support performance and culture as well. Another piece is that most of our competition focuses on a global aggregated initiative. What that means is a lot of employer of record typically don't own the entity in the countries that they support. For example, we are now talking with a client with 80 people in the Philippines, potential client with 80 people in the Philippines. They fell off of one big global EOR. They moved to another, the second largest EOR in the world. And every single month, they have payroll issues. And the payroll issues take 7 weeks to be answered because they go through different layers of EORs because they subcontract. So for us, we make sure that we have the direct relationship with the employee and with the client, because we really believe that by going deep in the market, we believe that we can achieve economies of scale and be more successful, and then replicate that playbook in other emerging markets and really give real human support while all the admin are automated through technology.
And just a few words about numbers, as much as you want to share. Where most of your clients are based, and what kind of, I don't know, how many people you hire them, and whatever you can communicate about it.
50% of our clients are from the US, but we also have clients from the UK, Netherlands, Germany, Australia, Spain, India, Hong Kong, and Singapore. So all over the world. Typically, they are tech companies, ed tech, mark tech, but there are also financial firms, so accountants. A lot of the talents that we hire are software engineers, IT cybersecurity specialists, marketers, so graphic designers, content writers, etc. But we also have a lot of accountants. Or for example, the client that we grew to about 35 people, an ed tech company in the States, they have Oh, so what they do, it's a very cool company. We love this client. So what they do is they help neurodiverse individuals on the autism spectrum to land jobs in AI and cybersecurity, and all of their coaches, or even just to make a sandwich, right? So their coaches teach these neurodiverse individuals to be able to support themselves after they fall off of the cliff of the government support. So all of their coaches that are special education teachers are in the Philippines, hired under Remotify.
And how many people altogether, have you hired for your clients so far?
So we so far have created about 300 plus job opportunities since we started. Right now we have a total of 150, 100 going to 180 active employees on record.
Okay. And how did it all start? I also met you together with your partner in business and partner in life, Irvin, who is an amazing guy. And you've been doing this together from the beginning. How did you meet? How did the whole story start?
First off, we met because we used to be colleagues, so we know we work well together. So Erwin and I both, before founding Remotify, we both worked at a UK based telco tech company. It's a really cool company. We serve the coolest brands: Apple, Tesla, Netflix, right? And we both had teams spread across 3 continents while running the operations remotely. So I was the global head of service experience there, and Erwin had led the provisioning team, the global provisioning team, and then he left to serve as a country manager for another employer of record firm. I'm very familiar with this space because my career started off in the business process outsourcing in the Philippines, which we are trying to revamp through the model of Remotify, right? Because it's a 30-year-old model that is ripe for revision. But at the same time, that also opened me up to other job opportunities. So before moving to that telco tech startup, my first stab at startups is when I joined a market research firm based in Palo Alto, Mountain View, California, Silicon Valley. And what we did there was we connected experts from Silicon Valley to hedge fund managers in Wall Street, and basically, yeah, at that time I was eating information about cloud computing and iPad before it was even published. So like, very, very, it brought to me that entrepreneurial spirit. I was working with people as software engineers in that small team who, after we worked together, had built their own companies and exited twice, 3 times, right? So that kind of exposure really helped me to understand the startup ecosystem, but also at the same time, because where we worked for the telco tech space, we were the leaders in eSIM and IoT, and we were really exposed to a lot of big startups, right? And companies. So that molded the idea, but really the seed of the idea happened during the pandemic. And I realized just how abnormal my life was, because before the pandemic, I would sometimes be with my teams in Portugal for a month, or be with my team in Hong Kong for 6 months straight. And I missed a lot of children milestones, right? And during the pandemic, what I realized is, okay, I can still do my work. I still do my work great. I don't have to travel and waste 4 hours in commute time. I get to learn so much because I kept on finishing all like books, courses, whatever. And I get to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner with the kids. And they get to study. So my mind just clicked, and I thought, hey, what if we would want to do this more often? And also it means that a lot more Filipinos can have access to this, because there are 7,000 islands in the Philippines, and the concentration of jobs are in the 3 metros: Metro Manila, Metro Cebu, Metro Davao. But right now only 23% are from Metro Manila in our talent pool, and all of them are spanning the 7,000 islands, not because we demographically chose, but because they are the best talents, right? And so the seed of the idea really of Remotify is, what if we can create a workplace that's not an actual place, but anywhere employees feel valued, connected, and cared for? That's the seed of why we started Remotify, and then that's where it began, and here we are today.
The population of the Philippines is actually larger than the whole region, Central Eastern Europe.
Correct. People think that the Philippines is small, but actually our population is 105 million, and the working population is 45 million talents. That is the exact same number as the entire population of Spain. Our median population age is 25 years young, and by 2030, the Philippines will surpass the average participation rate in the global workforce, because while the rest of the world is aging, Filipinos are young. Filipinos are mostly 25 years young, and with 85 million talents unfilled in the West and 3 billion workers joining from emerging markets in the next 10 years, companies continue to turn to outsourcing, and the Philippines is the second largest outsourcing hub simply because English is our first language. We have a culture of care and friendliness. We graduate 700,000 university graduates per year. 50% are in IT. And we have a 30-year advantage in outsourcing. So our clients are typically surprised that, for example, they're going to hire an accountant and they will have in the CV, worked for EY, worked for worked for Bain, worked for, like, they're so surprised with the quality of talent simply because we have a leg up on outsourcing.
Yeah, and also, I've been to the Philippines twice and coming back in a few months again
Nice.
for gigs on the beach, the conference where we
Okay.
also met each other. And what I experienced that culturally, well, I haven't been to each and every country in Southeast Asia, but I have met people from most of those countries. And what I felt that culturally, actually, Filipinos stay somehow the closest to Europeans or Western mindset. Of course, there are always exceptions everywhere, but you have the language. Practically, the country was colonized by the Spanish guys many
300
years,
years.
and then you got the U.S. guys, and they really
Right.
helped with education and a lot of cultural affection came from the U.S. as well. So I
Correct.
feel when you can make the joke and people get it, that's the kind of
Yes.
feel from
True.
the film. Yeah, and how do you see actually the job market in the Philippines, let's say now, and how you see the potential in the global talent game, let's say 5-10 years ahead?
So the Philippines really has a deep, loyal English-speaking talent pool, right? But many are still stuck in their outdated 9 to 5 or insecure freelance gigs. So that's where the massive opportunity in the middle is, offering stable full-time remote work that gives both flexibility and benefits. And there's a growing shift in what workers expect. People want meaning, not just money, and that's where employers need to evolve, and we help them do that. And as for potential of the Philippines, it's huge, right? As I mentioned earlier, we have a young, tech savvy, service oriented population and a cultural edge in communication and empathy. But to unlock that potential, of course, we need better infrastructures, better upskilling. The good thing is that the Philippines has the highest internet and smartphone penetration. We are, as you know, the social media capital of the world,
In the
and every
region or globally?
in the world. In the
Oh,
world.
really? Wow.
Yes, in the world. So we have the highest internet usage, have the highest penetration. We have more smartphones than we have people in the Philippines, right? In any of the 7,000 islands. So we need better upskilling, of course, and platforms that protect workers and help them grow. So I see the Philippines becoming really as a global hub for not just the simple jobs, but also for creatives, for engineers, for sales reps, for roles that actually require judgment and leadership. But we need to be investing in people, not just placements.
How do you, I mean, what are your plans, growth plans and exit plans on the longer run, as much as you want to share?
Really, for the exit strategy, we really want to make sure that we are able to. So, first, the growth plan. We want to get to 3,000 employees by 2027. Hence, this raise, right? So, what is working for us truly are three powerful levers of growth. One is that there are a lot of employees seeking formal employment records. And then the second one is our clients. We grow so much from word of mouth recommendation and retention rate. We have 119 net revenue retention from our clients. We have
Wow.
clients that have been with us 4 years for the same employee for the past 4 years, right? Just creating longer lifetime values for both clients and employees. But a digital platform to support that scaled operations. Now, because uh, we've created a good talent pipeline by becoming a great place to work, and talents are coming to us. We're now investing more into building our sales force through account-based marketing, digital marketing, B2B partnerships, but at the same time, community-driven growth to get us to 3,000 employees on record by 2025. And by that time, we'll be ready for Series A to start consolidating the market and entering other emerging markets. That also allows us to tap onto white label opportunities with our platform that will create more revenue streams and make sure that we penetrate both deeply and horizontally. As for the exit, of course we would want to exit, right? But we want to be intentional with it. We want to make sure that we create real value. And we want to see that this would be a space where, because at Series A, we will start consolidating the market, which means it will create more value. When we exit, we want to make sure that it actually transforms the industry, right? That we can go deeply, and through maybe through a partnership, merger, or acquisition, that we can make a generational company out of this.
What's the profile of an ideal client?
Our ideal client really are venture-backed startups who would want to extend their runway, have the best talents at a fraction of the cost, typically 70% savings, and people that are so loyal, they'd last you. I worked for my last company for 12 years, right?
Okay.
And really that I was able to lead teams around the world, and I'm not the only one in the Philippines, right? You can tap on this talent. So venture-backed startups who would want stable employee base, and mid-market companies who actually are growing as well, and would not have the capacity, the capital, or actually the intention to set up an entity in the Philippines simply because they just want to hire talent in the Philippines, but wants to be compliant, but wants to make sure that their people are cared for, that they have a local, real partner, that when they would have issues, that there is support. Maybe I'll throw one back to you, Peter. What was it that made you invest in Remotify? Was it our mission, the market, or just our stubborn optimism?
It was actually personally you and Irving. You guys have a kind of aura around yourself. I mean, you left a mark in me somehow, and then we met again the following year, last year. And I know you are very good people with good heart and sharp brain. And I didn't need to see a pitch deck or anything, because I just knew that you were doing the right things. And I also felt that you probably didn't hate me too much. So I think we had a good chemistry with each other. And
yeah, we really like you. You're our type of person, right? So, and as we always say, right, we'd much rather have a small group of really committed people around us, from employees to investors to clients, that are really with us on the journey of building this meaningfully, right? So thank you for joining us.
Honestly, I also see the business opportunity. This second thing would not mean anything to me without the first one, of course, which is the personal connection and the trust and all those kind of things. But I definitely see that it's an opportunity which also brings a lot of financial potential to me later on. And
yes, sure,
not by hurting others, but by actually helping others at the same time.
Cherry on top, yeah.
Once again, thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you, Peter.
And
really appreciate it.
We will see each other in person again.
Yes. See you at Geeks on the Beach.